Ultimate MK Podquest.
Hey, Corey. I think we're just gonna dive into it, man.
Let's just jump right into it. Remember that? Remember when we did that like 3 or 4 times an episode?
Yeah, we still do it sometimes.
But remember when we did it more, I guess?
I'm sure some people out there who have been listening to this show remember it fondly. Or they hate it and they're glad we don't do it anymore. But I don't know, man. I just want to take a minute here to just kind of say that, like, you know, we have a small audience. We're not doing Office Ladies numbers over here.
There it is.
On
I
MK
knew you were going to
Podquest.
fucking bring that podcast up again. Jesus Christ.
We're not doing fake doctors, real friends number. We're not
What
in
is
anybody's.
that one?
That's the one where Zach Braff and Donald
Why are we talking about
Faison
Zach Braff?
talk about Scrubs.
I don't want to talk about Zach Braff.
It'd be the equivalent of if like Paolo Montalban and Bruce Locke got together to talk about Mortal Kombat Conquest episodes.
God, don't get my hopes up. Fuck.
God.
I'd cancel this show tomorrow if the actors just did it better than we did.
But yeah.
But we're not going to cancel the show tomorrow because
I just want to say that, like, the interactions that I've had with listeners have just been, like, truly fucking awesome. We got a great group of people listening to this podcast. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody for checking us out and sticking with us. Sometimes it's the only thing that will get me through another episode of Defenders of the Realm.
Yeah. I still feel that 100%. I've not been as lucky to have as many of those interactions just based on where some of them are happening, but I know what happens. I hear from Neil. Obviously, some of you are just off your gourd enough to give us actual, like, valuable money, which is insane.
Well,
so, I mean...
It's not about the money.
No. But what I mean is, like, the fact that people are willing to do that
is
fucking
insane.
Crazy. And
ko-fi.com/mkpodquest. We didn't plug it last episode.
It doesn't matter. But even people who are just willing to just, you know, take the time out to be like, hey, good show, dudes. Like,
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you to everyone for listening. Shout out to
Thank
Paul.
you to everyone, but also thank you to Paul. I was literally able to do that, and you beat me fucking to it.
Mostly shout out to Paul. The rest of you are cool too.
Thank you to everyone, and also thank you to Paul.
Yeah, man. I gotta say, dude, on another subject in terms of show stuff goes, I've got like 1 can of energy Coke left, and I don't want to crack it because I'm gonna need that to edit these bad boys.
Do you think you'll be able to go to a store and find more?
Well, I've had my eye out in the stores. And
how dire are these circumstances?
The zero sugars, I mean, I think that there's a stocking problem in general, you know, because of the world. But the zero sugars are all gone. I'd had to switch to full strength, and I just don't know that I can handle that.
That would light your brain on fire.
Yeah.
You'd go ballistic banana boys. It would be a lot of shit.
I'd be like Sub-Zero running up that temple to fight Scorpion in the last episode.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I'd turn into Defenders of the Realm Raiden and just be an unfathomable dick to everybody.
Are you willing to risk it just to have more energy Coke in your life? Risk that personality change? Risk alienating everyone that you care about and love?
Thinking I might need to adopt a new official beverage.
We're taking not requests, suggestions. We'll drink anything you want.
I'm kind of thinking maybe it should be that Peach Rings flavored G Fuel with Sonic on the can.
Is that limited edition? Are we just setting ourselves up for more failure?
I think it might be limited edition, but there's quite a few of them over at the 7-Eleven.
You can buy G Fuel at a 7-Eleven in America? What the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're insane here, dude. It's weird to me.
Finally, Gamer Fuel in real stores.
The official beverage of
Fuel
esports.
Of gamers.
You can also buy actual Mountain Dew Game Fuel at the store.
Not even. G Fuel is like mostly for streamers at this point, I feel like.
Like those chairs. Everyone's got those gamer chairs.
I'm sitting in one right now. I'm not afraid to admit that.
Can I ask this is a serious question?
Yeah.
Is it a nice experience?
I like it. But it's because the chair I had before that sucked.
What's the advantage of the gamer chair versus just like a good office chair?
Probably not much.
It looks cool.
I mean, I'm not really in it for aesthetics. It's just like I felt like I could. It was something I was actually familiar with and knew how to shop for. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like a office supply fucking expert, and I didn't want to go have a 4-hour conversation with a dude in a Staples trying to talk to me about chairs. But I knew, looking at these, like, oh, these have like actual support for your body.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a high back, which I like. So like you can rest your head on it if you wanted. Like, it goes all the way up. It's not like one of those office chairs that sits like halfway up your back.
Sure.
And I sit in chairs for long periods of time, so I needed something with actual like support. And I mean, like, I'll be the first person to admit it's silly that they look like race car seats. Like, it's just it is silly.
It's very silly.
I have like a DX racer chair, so it really leans into that.
Holy shit, dude.
And
you need to get
like,
your custom F1 wheel and sit in your
I've been
racer
shopping
chair.
for wheels. I have been shopping for wheels. ko-fi.com/mkpodquest.
Okay, well, on
fund my racing wheel. But
on that note, I think if we're going to ask for fundraising for anything, let me tell you what I'm sitting in right now, Corey.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a guess what I'm sitting in right now?
Like a wooden dining room table chair.
Nope.
On a paint bucket.
A $12 plastic folding chair from IKEA.
Well, that's a choice that you made.
I think we need to fundraise to get me a new chair.
Or you can keep listening for free, no pressure.
Yeah, but if you want to help me get a new chair, like,
Jesus Christ!
I'm gonna set that as a goal on the page.
Get Neil a chair challenge. If you win the challenge, you get the satisfaction of knowing Neil has a good chair.
Does asking for money discount all of the nice things?
I was going to say, how did we go from thanking our great listeners for just being nice people to fucking shilling for chair?
Yeah, let's just be clear. I don't actually expect anyone to actually give us any money.
No, and I want to double
That's
down
not
on
why
the
we're
fact
doing
that,
this.
like, no, we're here to talk dumb shit about the stupid Mortal Kombat cartoons, and we're just glad anybody's listening. Otherwise, it would be a truly tragic state of affairs. So,
but if anyone's got like a lead on how to get a good chair for cheap,
Facebook Marketplace.
Well, come on.
You know how much shit there probably is on Facebook Marketplace? Probably
a lot. But who has the time?
You.
No, I don't have the time. I'm
if
busy doing
you need
this.
a chair, you can make the time. If you need it.
I just said I'd like a chair.
No, I would say you need a chair. That shit will fuck you up if you just do plastic shit chair forever. That's bad for you.
Okay, well, send me some.
I would know. I'm sitting in a big car seat.
A big car seat on wheels. You dork.
Yeah, my lumbar support's off the charts.
You comfortable dork with good posture, probably.
I'm leaning forward right now, weirdly, so not really. Like, I'm leaning into the microphone and I could just fix my setup, but
all right,
that would be what a sensible person would do.
Sure.
So Neil needs a new chair. Jax needs new arms.
Jax needs to get his arms fixed. He needs to get his confidence back. Oh man, Mortal Kombat: Defenders of the Realm, Episode 3, Jax's arms.
Episode 3, Jarms.
Acid Tongue. Acid Tongue. What do you think with a title like Acid Tongue? Did you expect a Reptile Man to show up?
I thought it was going to be Cyrax again.
They didn't really give you much time to speculate, considering how the episode opens. But why don't you tell us about this episode over there in the Corey corner?
All right. Do you want to get over here?
Yeah, hold on. Let me get out of my creaky chair. Whoa.
Welcome to the Corey corner. Sounds like you tripped over an old cat. Like there was just like a, you know what I mean? I don't need to explain it. Everyone's been there.
Tripping that old chestnut.
That old chestnut. That old nut.
Those old robotic arms.
Those old robo nuts. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of whatever that is. A portal is opening.
Holy shit!
Reptile men are running out of it, or more accurately, men in green ninja outfits. Who may or may not be reptile men. And you know what that means? It's combat time.
It's combat time.
Everybody fights off Komodai.
Komodai
is not reptile. And this reptile has the power of the chameleon. And everybody else keeps calling them raptors.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but what happens here is so everybody's goal in Mortal Kombat is to take over the realms. And what if I told you that Komodai's goal was also to take over all of the realms?
Whoa.
And so there's a big fight, and in that fight, Jax gets his arms all acid fucked up, and he loses the control chips that are unique. They can't just make new ones. They're unique. They're one of a kind. And this episode is like 95% about Jax needs to get his groove back, because without his arms, he thinks he's useless, because in his mind, he's just a big, strong man, and he's not smart or cunning or anything. He has a lot of self-loathing to work through. And so Reptile wants to take over the realms. Jax needs to get his groove back, and also at the end, Sheeva wants to take over the realms. But to be honest, that part doesn't really end up mattering all that much. So
yeah,
that was just, they were hitting a new character quota, it feels like.
Sure. They needed to split the team up, right?
Yeah, and that's it. C'est tout. That's all of it.
That's all that happens. We don't find out if Jax gets his arms fixed.
Of course he does. I don't need to say that part. God damn.
So let's go over to the Neil Nook. Welcome to the Neil Nook.
It's Gucci.
We're going to talk about our last... You all right?
It was a tough journey. Did you not hear that?
I cut in and out because of this.
Oh, that's funny as fuck. I love that.
Man. All right.
Good shit.
Oh, now that we're over here in the Neil Nook, we're going to talk about our last two of our main cast, our last two voice actors of the main cast. We got Todd Thawley as Nightwolf. Couldn't find a whole lot of information on this guy. He hasn't done a ton of acting. He was in that one episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer about the vengeful Native American spirit. That's kind of cringy and insensitive these days.
Yikes.
Yeah. He also did some episodes of ER and Roswell. And here's a big one. Didn't think we'd get one of these. He also did a Baywatch.
Hey, we got there.
We got one. Our last guy of the main gang of Sonya and the boys is Brian Tochi, who plays Liu Kang. Corey, this guy also voiced Leonardo in all three of the live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies.
Nice.
Yeah, and wasn't there a guy, one of the... I can't pull his name.
It's morphin' time, that classic turtle phrase.
Who did?
When they go into their shells and they spin really fast and they shoot into the sky. And
yeah.
They kick their jets in jam. Sorry, the mental image that I have of the live action Ninja Turtles turning into shell mode, and they start spinning really, really, really fast, and they shoot into the sky.
Yeah. Like Gamera.
Yeah, it's like Gamera.
Exactly like Gamera.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was picturing.
Tight.
Everyone's favorite big monster.
Little bit of a connection from Leonardo was played by Mark Queso in Ninja Turtles 2 and 3, and Mark Queso did stunts in Conquest and Annihilation and the first Mortal Kombat movie. Did you follow that? Did I explain that well?
I think so.
Okay.
I was taking a big old chug of this H2O while you were talking, which is why I didn't say anything.
Big old chug of your gamer fuel, your G fuel. Jesus Christ. So
I was too busy drinking my gamer fuel.
Beloved Ninja Turtle Leonardo was brought to life in the movies by two Mortal Kombat actors. Pretty tight.
That's why they put him in the video game.
Can we do a bonus episode on the first live-action Ninja Turtles movie?
Maybe.
Come on.
I still have a bad taste in my mouth from having to do one about the famously bad third live-action Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah, but the first one's good is the difference.
Yeah, but...
And it's a New Line movie. They made the Mortal Kombat movie.
I've seen them. I know. But then maybe.
All right, we'll talk about it.
We have a lot of bonus episodes to get to before we do a Ninja Turtles one. I'll just say that.
We've got like a full year's worth of non-Mortal Kombat.
The trick was to make this podcast about anything.
Well, who knows what the future will hold. All right. Brian Tochi also was in an episode of The Partridge Family as a child. He was credited as Young Boy.
Good rap name.
He did an episode of Star Trek, the original series. He was in Police Academy 3 and 4. Corey, here's a couple for you. He was Takashi in the original Revenge of the Nerds. but he was also in Revenge of the Nerds 3 with Clancy Brown and in Revenge of the Nerds 4.
God willing, movies I will never have to see.
And he was an uncredited male trooper in Starship Troopers, also with Clancy Brown.
Clancy gets around, man. Clancy doesn't rest on his laurels.
And he played Master Hama in Johnny Bravo, which co-starred Jeff Bennett as the voice of Johnny Bravo, who was Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins, and also co-starred Tom Kenny, who we all know from Stan Lee's Stripperella.
Yep, that's where we know him from. Yep.
Also, he's
Nowhere
SpongeBob.
else.
Also, he's
Nope.
SpongeBob, and Clancy Brown is Mr. Krabs in that. There's just a lot of connections here, man. We're
I think that we should
connecting people.
we should maybe create as a society 3 or 4 more voice actors so the same people don't have to do everything.
Sure. Now, that's it for the main cast. We've also got 2 new characters. We've got Komodai, voiced by Josh Blyden, who
Yeah.
is credited as Komodai in Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm and Irish Thug in the TV movie Behind the Mask.
Like Jim Carrey's The Mask?
Behind the Mask.
Yeah, is it behind Jim Carrey's The Mask?
It is not.
Oh, okay. Well, now I'm disinterested.
It stars Deborah Winters. I'm not going into this. He's also credited as an additional makeup artist on the movie The Dentist.
So what you're telling me is that his only notable acting role is Komodai?
It's Komodai. We got a real Jennifer Renton situation here.
I don't even remember who Jennifer Renton is.
That's Genevieve.
See, I knew it was going to be like, it was one of a couple people, but I didn't know for sure.
We got a real Silk Manning on our hands with this role.
Truly. That's so... Dude, imagine how cool it is. Like, if I were, what's his name, Josh? If I were Josh...
Josh Blyden.
Yeah, if I were Joe Biden, what I would do is I would tell fucking everybody that my only, like, big-time acting vibe...
Yeah.
was hey, I got to be a reptile man in a Mortal Kombat cartoon. That's so cool. That's like
Hell
what an
yeah.
icon. What an incredible man, you know? Like I'm gonna go out on a limb and hope that he didn't do anything.
You
know?
think he tells people like, no, I mean, I basically played Reptile.
I mean, I thought it was Reptile at first, so yeah, I would if I were him for sure.
Sure, but we know that that's a complicated scenario in this universe when there are just many, many identical reptile men and women.
Yeah, the trick is if everyone's reptile, no one's reptile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or in another parlance,
some syndrome shit.
we're all reptile. You know?
We are all reptile. We are reptile.
All
right. We've also got everybody's favorite Mortal Kombat character, Sheeva, showing up here.
That's Vorpak's Stolen Valor. You can't say that.
Played by Dawn Lewis. She has just also done a ton of acting. Are you a Futurama fan?
One of my roommates is watching it right now. I've seen a good amount of it, but I don't know about fan. Like I've seen it. Like some of it's definitely funny. I don't know.
She voices La Barbara Conrad, which is Hermes' wife.
Okay, I'm like passingly familiar with the.
Okay.
with
She played
that.
Marsha Langdon on the Hulu season of Veronica Mars. She was Robin on Hanging with Mr. Cooper. She was Jalessa on A Different World. And she was in Dreamgirls. And she's going to be back. Sheeva's coming back for at least 2 more episodes. That's it for the cast. We'll see Sheeva again in the future. So let's get into the lizard meat of this episode, if you will.
It's mostly about arms.
Let's get into the arms of this episode.
In the arms of an
A Jax.
episode of a cop. Jax is kind of a cop.
Something's kind of fucked up about this, I'm just realizing. So we've got a Shokon Invasion, which is a bunch of people with 4 arms in an episode where Jax is worried about just having his 2 puny human arms and wanting more robot arms. A lot of arms in this episode.
Yeah, it's frankly, some might say too much.
Too many arms.
Arms-based material.
We got all kinds of arms in this.
So it cannot be understated the degree to which this episode is about Jax having a fucking identity crisis because he doesn't have big metal arms to put over his regular arms. That's it. That's it.
He plays it like he's like fucking coming down from like a heroin addiction or something.
Ugh.
Like he's like really like only concerned with his arms and getting new arms.
He's
and
down
can my
bad.
arms be fixed? And what happened to my arms? And I'm nothing without my arms. He doesn't even worry about the safety of his best friend Sonya. He's just worried about her finding the control chips for his fucking arms. It's like,
it's selfish and annoying.
It's poor. So, you know, like I felt like that Annihilation didn't do a good enough job with this, with Jax fussing with his arms and having to overcome his issue with them. It was a lot of people just telling him that he needed to do it, even though he seemed more or less fine with them.
Yeah.
And now this one is just too much. It's just way too much.
Yeah, like, so there's an episode of a cartoon for children where an unusual rift opens and a bunch of lizard ninja men run out all screaming the same thing like a bunch of doofuses. And the crux of the episode is a man lost his big metal arms.
Right at the beginning of the episode, rift opens. Presumably this is the rift that we learned about at the end of the last episode. And Komodai walks through and he declares that Earthrealm is his.
Yeah, he just says it's his. And then
and then all the other reptile men run through also. And they're all dressed in green, ninja outfits, right? 100% of them.
Not unlike Mortal Kombat Conquest.
Mortal Kombat in general, some might say.
Or they could get slightly more specific and say Mortal Kombat Conquest.
And then Sonya and the boys are all flying by in their 3 jet fighters. And they're like, what the fuck is going on here? Let's get down and have some combat time, right?
Combat time! Which she did not say in the second episode at all.
But she did say in this one.
Twice, I
She
think.
said it twice. I only caught it once.
Oh, maybe it was only once. Maybe I'm projecting back to the first episode.
It just always feels like twice.
Sub-Zero was in a gray outfit when he jumps out of the plane. That bothered me.
Yeah, Sub-Zero's color is all wrong. He's still riding in the jet with Stryker, which is just like...
Oh, God, there's such a good bit with the jets later. It's one of the
my
funniest
God, yeah,
things
I
I've
can't
ever
fucking
seen.
wait.
Oh, my
We gotta
God.
get there. But... So the crew just gets out of their jets and starts fucking up all these lizard men.
Jamming.
Why didn't they just stay in their jets and shoot them with their lasers that we've seen those jets have?
Because this is Mortal Kombat.
There's no honor in
Or
that,
actually,
I
no,
suppose.
those are jet lasers. They're only good
They can
against other...
only
Yeah.
shoot other... And the big mistake that Komodai made is invading without a bunch of jets.
Jets. Yeah.
Okay.
All he brought with him and his raptors was the power of the chameleon.
The power of the chameleon.
Then the fight initially has some, I feel like it's got some throwbacks to the first movie. Like there's some shit with like getting inside of a statue that felt reminiscent of something from that reptile fight in the movie, sort of.
From
Maybe
how
my
Reptile
brain made that
became
up.
human-like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except the opposite happens here. He grows a hilarious looking reptile head. And I don't know, they fucking fight and Jax gets his fucking ass beat and Komodai calls him big man.
Jax is facing off against Komodai, and Komodai spits acid at him. First, I love when Komodai
spits ass.
All right. when he takes his mask off and he's like, gotcha, motherfucker, I'm a lizard person. And then Jax is like, I thought all of Reptile's people were extinct. And then...
Valid question, to be fair.
But why did he think that? There's hundreds of them.
Right, but in the Reptile is the last of his, that's the lore, right?
But that's not the lore in this universe.
Yeah, but maybe that's why maybe he's played the games.
Yeah. There you go. That's what it is. Jax got confused for a minute and thought he was playing regular Mortal Kombat, not Threshold Entertainment Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And
Jax keeps up. Like, why would he not?
And then all of the other reptile dudes also pull their masks off and all have lizard faces. And that's kind of tight. And then Liu Kang calls them raptors. We all know they're called
It's mostly
Zetarans.
hilarious, actually. I don't know if it's tight, but it is hilarious.
It's hilarious. Things can be tight.
They look really silly.
They do, but part of me just loves seeing just like hundreds of reptile men all identical like we got in Conquest.
Just hollering.
Yeah.
Ah!
So Jax is fighting Komodai, and Komodai spits acid.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Can't help but
ass.
notice you were very specific that time.
I sure was, dick.
What's the first part of that word, though?
Ah.
And what's the second part?
Sid.
I don't know. I mean, I think it might have been the thing that I said.
All right.
Anyway, I just don't want to talk about Jax's stupid fucking arms.
Jax blocks the acid with his arms, but then gets really worried about his arms. And he He like takes the chips out of them and throws them out of the way to like save them. Because like, all right, these are terrible arms, right? These are terrible arms. If he knows he can only get the one set of chips for them, so when he gets in a fight, he has to then disable his own arms and throw the chips to keep them from getting destroyed. These are bad arms, dude.
Yeah, his arms seem like they kind of fucking suck.
These are the worst arms. These are worse.
First of all, they're weird shells that just sort of like come off.
Yeah, and then they have the chips in the shells.
And that makes him stronger for reasons. I genuinely don't understand how these could possibly work.
Triples the muscle capacity.
What does that mean, though? Like,
means it What do you mean?
No. No, let's think about this.
Take your muscle capacity and triple it.
I have none. It's still 0. Let's think about this.
It's a good point.
Functionally, let's consider how this works. So he's got regular arms, right?
Yeah.
And then he puts metal over top of his arms, and chips in the metal make him stronger. How?
Yeah. By tripling the muscle
What
capacity.
does that mean, though?
All right.
Like, here's what I'm saying, though. Like, are there motors in it that can make him fucking punch harder? Like,
hold on.
I don't...
Hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on.
What, are you going to go fucking kick your Jetson Jam over to the fucking creatine store and get jacked?
Yeah, I'm going to go get some arms. Hold on.
Is his name Jax because he's muscular and he's jacked? That joke met with the deafening silence of a podcast co-host who actually got up and left.
Yeah. I told you to hold on.
So it's just me now.
All right.
What did you just go pick up? What could this possibly be?
I don't know that there's anything in here, but I'm going to look for it.
Yeah, because the arms are hollow because he has to put them over his real arms.
I'm looking at the Mortal Kombat Special Forces manual to see if they talk about arm gear, because he gets his arm gear in there. Nope, no answers here. Somebody tweet John Tobias.
Thanks, that would be pretty cool, because right now it's just big. It would make him worse at punching because his arms would be a lot heavier, right? Anyway, who cares?
Sure, but they're probably like reinforcing his joints and stuff like that. Plus, it's a harder material, so it'll hit harder.
In this context, are those control chips his Arcana?
So I think it's time for a big theory, boys.
Big theory, boys. Big theory, boys. Can't believe you ignored my Arcana comment. Just glossed over it like it didn't even matter to you.
Maybe the control chips could be argued as a version of Arcana because they would enhance.
That's what I'm saying.
What your weakness is.
Yeah.
And as we saw in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which canonically happened before this television series, as I'm going to continue to prove this episode, and as mentioned in the Mortal Kombat Annihilation book that we talked about a couple weeks ago, Jax had a hard time controlling those arms in that book and in that movie. That was kind of the whole point. That's why he got his arms stuck in the wall and shit like that. So you can argue that those control chips were developed and added to those bionic arms afterwards to give him better control of them, which is why he's losing his mind at not having them, because that means that the things are useless like they were in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Right? Now, for your other theory.
Yeah.
100%. Because if the way that the Arcana in Mortal Kombat 2021 was supposed to work was to take your weakness and make it your strength,
yeah,
then his arms being his weakness, maybe they did manifest themselves some control chips.
His arms aren't really a weakness because he's already pretty fucking jacked as hell, right?
Sure. It's his perceived weakness, maybe.
Right. It's his, it's really like a personal lack of confidence that manifests within his big arms.
Right.
But beyond that, yeah, it's Arcana for sure.
The reason Jax put the metal arms back on after Annihilation was because he got these control chips. That's the end of my Big Theory Boys segment.
Great. Fantastic. Thank you. So
is this still a good podcast?
What's your concern? Why are you asking?
I don't know. I feel like I'm getting in the weeds a little bit here.
That's the whole thing. You're telling me you got all the way to this part and didn't think we were just getting into the weeds, dude? Fuck.
Just checking in. Just checking in.
We don't have to get as in the weeds with this because it's like, do you want to hear Jax complain about not having his arms and everyone telling Jax to get the fuck over it? And then some people going to look for his arms and then some fighting? That's episode 3 of Defenders of the Realm.
Hold on. Slow your roll, buddy.
I wasn't trying to end the episode, but like, shit else happens. Like,
yes, I am trying to look up Jax's arms on Wikipedia.
oh boy.
No, I'm not. I'm done.
We've
I'm
really
done. All right.
activated Neil's Arcana, which is looking up useless lore.
Fuck you. Yeah, my Arcana would be big calves. I've said it before and I'll say it again. So Jax is all worried about his busted arms, and then Sonya comes over and she beats the shit out of Komodai, which is rad. We get to see Sub-Zero do the ice puddle trick. We got to see Jax throw a dude in the air. These fights in general are not... They're bad. They're bad.
They're not
bad
good.
Cartoon fights. It's nothing like what we saw in Conquest. If we did did a comparison,
let's be honest, we didn't think that that's what it was going to be. And as you're saying, there is some more screen accuracy to like video game moves, which is neat. But the bottom line is this show is relatively cheap, and they didn't prioritize the fights being good. They prioritized the fights happening. I had a similar thought through this whole episode that I felt like I wasn't getting a lot out of the aesthetic experience of the show before I realized it was a bunch of sparse nothingness because it's not an expensive show and they probably didn't have it in the budget to make elaborate backgrounds and shit, and they don't care, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's just hard to talk about. I mean, it was hard to talk about the fights in Conquest for a different reason, being that we're a couple of dummies who don't know anything about fights and martial arts.
Yeah, that's a problem.
This is a different problem where it's like, this show doesn't know anything about fights and martial arts. But it's always fun when you get to see them do like their moves from the game. That's kind of fun. But yeah, Sonya fucks up Komodai. Then Komodai and all the reptile men run back into the rift, and then Stryker comes in to use his cop weapon to close the portal. Yeah. But he has a little bit of trouble doing it before he's able to finally get it closed. And he's like, I swear this has never happened before.
Classic cop failure.
Classic impotent policeman. So they're like they're like checking on Jax, and Jax is like, I'm fine. We just got to get back to the cave so I can get my arms fixed. And oh shit, oh no, my the shells are here, but the control chips are gone. I need the control chips. They can't be replaced.
They're one of a kind.
And Sonya's like, hey, maybe you should just ditch the cybernetic arms altogether.
She actually calls them wetware.
She calls them wetware, yeah.
Which is a word that I sort of got I've only ever heard in like William Gibson novels, and I couldn't believe she had just said it out loud. I didn't know if it was a term or not, but like a real term and not a science fiction term. But shit's wild.
Yeah, it's a real term that I don't know what it means and don't want to look
up. Wetware in computer. Wetware. Human brain cells or thought processes regarded as analogous to or in contrast with computer systems. And then the second definition, chiefly in science fiction, computer technology in which the brain is linked to artificial systems or used... But no, because his regular arms are under there.
Sure, but I think...
Then why is it fired up to his brain? Wouldn't he just do arm stuff and then the arms are just metal?
Because it's a cartoon show for babies.
Yeah, babies don't know what wetware is. I had to Google it, and I'm a 23-year-old man.
So...
Would a baby do a podcast about a cartoon?
If they were going to do a podcast about anything, it would probably be one about a cartoon show. Paw Patrol, maybe? I don't know.
I bet there's a absolutely banging Paw Patrol lore podcast.
So Jax, like, Sonya's like, come on, man, you don't need your metal arms. You can just, use your regular thick arms.
Yeah, thick with...
And let's go back to the cave, and he's like, I'm not riding in the jet with you. I'm riding with Stryker. I need some time away from this. I need some space to deal with this, is what he says.
and then the single most insane thing I've ever seen happens. May I?
Yes. God damn it.
He says he's gonna ride with Stryker, and you're like, okay, we already know that Sub-Zero has been riding with Stryker.
Yeah.
So they're gonna trade.
Right. Makes sense.
What if I told you they walk up to the jet and a third seat magically appears out of the second seat and slides back, and Jax just sits himself in the middle. So there is now Stryker, Jax, and Sub-Zero in one jet, and Sonya is by herself. What the fuck, dude? Like, why is there so... First of all, the way they've shown us the jets previously, there does not look like there is room.
There's not room
for a third person. Basically, no matter what at all. Never mind the fact that somebody didn't just go with Sonya comfortably in the other jet. Like, what are you doing? It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It's so
Particularly
funny.
when Jax is like, I need some space.
And then he gets in a cramped ass jet. He has less personal space than he could possibly have otherwise. Fuck.
I know.
And then I know it's because him and Sonya got a weird relationship where they're friends, but they talk a lot of shit in a way that doesn't always seem like it's a joke. So maybe he was just like gassed up and like needed to chill out, but like he did not do it in the best way possible.
Was it this episode or was it the last episode where she did something and he was like, I could kiss that girl?
I honestly could have been either one.
So I just feel like there's a lot of tension there, you know?
I think it's just weird writing.
Sure. Yeah. Bad writing. Do you mean bad writing?
Sean Catherine Derrick had 15 minutes.
Probably. We know she can do better than this. We've seen it.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, the fucking jet has
if anything,
third seat.
the goal of this show is to never disparage Sean Catherine Derrick.
So
yeah, the jet at a third seat, unfucking believable.
So
incredible.
Then Sonya and the boys all take off in their jets, and then the portal just reopens, and Komodai walks back out.
Oh my god, that's so fucking funny too. It's so funny. Like he's just to be fair, baited. Like in the tried and true Mortal Kombat tradition, baited.
Yeah,
horribly baited. But also, how is this portal or rift or whatever the fuck? Who cares anymore? Opening and closing like on demand. Like
I don't know, man. Striker's gear's all fucked up. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, they did say it was unusual.
But so now we're back at the combat cave. We get to see Jax with his regular arms instead of his metal arms.
And he's fucking jacked as shit.
He's wearing gauntlets, right? He's wearing bracelets. Do you think he had those on under his metal arms, or do you think he put those on because he just needed the weight of something extra on his arms?
Yeah, that 100% that.
Yeah, it's like when you like wear a watch all day and then you take it off and you're like, man, where's my watch? But like a lifetime of that.
Yeah. Yes, 100% yes.
So then he's talking to Nightwolf. He's got Nightwolf looking at his arms, and he's like, come on, man. What can you do? Can you fix these things? And Nightwolf's like, without the control chips, I don't think there's much I can do. But like, dude, you need to like realize how lucky you are that the acid didn't just fuck up your real arms.
Yeah, you gotta take it's about the little victories. And in this case, the huge victories.
The huge victory of not having your real arms melted by acid.
Yeah, because that's not ideal.
But Jax doesn't care. He's like, no, I just need my arms, man. Give me my arms back. And then they get a combat alert.
And Raiden says, I will fucking smite you to death, Jax, if you don't leave without your metal arms. I swear to fucking God.
Yeah. He also says...
Raiden sucks, dude.
He also says, where's Sonya?
Where's Andy?
Because Sonya's not there. So they call up Sonya.
And Sonya's being a good friend.
She's back at that island. She's like, guys, I'm fine. I'm just trying to look for Jax's control chips to help him out. And Jax is immediately like, oh, any luck? Did you find them? Where are they? Because he just needs his fix, right?
Yeah, he's fucking horny for arms.
He's horny for control chips.
He needs to find his Nintendo Switch so he can play arms.
Control chips are what really does it for the man.
Control chips brought to you by Pringles. That's my joke. And then Jax, so there's a combat alert, and I don't know, long story short, there's a bunch of fucking Shokan warriors inside of a mine.
Yeah.
And, but
while they're on FaceTime with Sonya, she gets attacked, and we see that she's been attacked by Komodai, who is literally just kicking the shit out of her. Like kicking her across the ground, and then he acid spits at her, and it only hits her communicator watch.
I would like to say that earlier in the fight, I forget who, but somebody had kicked the shit, literally kicked, of Komodai, and I think it was meant to be some kind of weird poetic irony.
I think, yeah, she was the one who did
somebody
it. She beat him.
Somebody kicked. Sorry, I just said kicked 3 times. I think my brain short-circuited. Somebody kicked the shit out of...
Dude, you need to get those control chips looked at.
Oh, fuck. Anyway, you get it. You get what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore.
And then Raiden's like, fuck it. We can't see what's going on with Sonya. Let's check on the rift. And we see it's the Shokan warriors invading. Hell yeah. Led by Sheeva. I love a Shokan. You know that. You know me.
Yeah, sure. We all do.
The more arms, the better. Give me some Grum.
Grum would
right?
Yeah, I don't think we're getting any Grum, though.
We're not getting any Grum in this. But
it would be pretty fucking cool if we did. But
yeah.
Something I wanted to get to is then so Nightwolf... First of all, Rain is like, Jax, you're fighting. Fuck you. I don't care. Figure out your shit. But then Nightwolf just gives like an earnest, nice, friendly pep talk, trying to get Jax to cut himself some slack and being like, hey man,
Right.
like you're not just a strong man, like don't have to worry about your arms. You can also be smart, but you can find your chi or your inner strength.
Yeah.
And you can use that to activate your arcana and become very strong again. But like what I want to address here is like I just really like Nightwolf.
Yeah.
Nightwolf is just a likable, nice boy.
He is. And so the plan now is Raiden is going to go with Stryker, Sub-Zero, Kitana, and Liu Kang to fight the Shokan. Nightwolf is ordered to stay in the chair.
For no real good reason. I get what Raiden says, but like it's dumb.
Like to protect the cave. And then Jax is sent to go find out what happened to Sonya and help Sonya. God damn it, Jax. This happened because of you. So Nightwolf gives him the nice pep talk about finding his inner strength. And, Jax admits, like, he's like, I feel like I'm nothing without my arms. I don't feel like I'm a part of this team. I need my arms back.
Somebody give me my arms.
But Kitana and the boys go and check out the rift. It's inside, like, a condemned mine.
Yes. And as I learned from recently watching the film, The Descent 2, don't fire guns or cause other explosions inside of condemned mines, or they will explode. Spoilers.
Apparently Stryker hasn't seen The Descent 2.
Oh, wow. Can you believe that there's a fucking gun-happy cop?
Nah, he doesn't. Anyway, we'll get to
He's
it.
spiritually gun-happy.
Does he say, when they're running into the mines to try to find the Shokan, does he say combat posture?
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Okay.
I get what he means. He wants everybody to be like on their toes and ready to go, ready to fight, get into combat posture.
Sure.
I understood what he meant by that.
All right.
And
So
that's
they run
the
in.
first and last time I'll ever say that about a cop.
Okay, good. So they
God, fuck Stryker, man. Shit.
so they run into this big room full of barrels, and there's a portal on the floor, and Sheeva jumps out of it. And Sheeva looks rad as hell, by the way. She looks like she's ready to fuck some shit up. And then all these Shokan dudes like pour in like behind her, and it kind of fucking rules, right? And like the gang is like,
yeah, it was all right. I was kind of like, oh, we're just doing this, okay. Like if I was underwhelmed because it was so sudden.
The show don't fuck around. The show needs to kick its jets and jam.
It's time to kick your jets and jam.
And they're like, where's Raiden? He's supposed to be here with us. He's so useless or some shit, right? And then Raiden pops in and he's like, hey, this useless one is here to even the odds. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like last week, dude couldn't even fight or help them and told them to fight their own fucking battles. And now he's like here ready to rumble. Like, it's very inconsistent.
Yeah, it sucks.
He
Raiden sucks so bad, dude.
But he faces off with Sheeva, which is interesting to me and probably nobody else, because he also fights Sheeva in the Annihilation book. So maybe that's where they got the idea from.
That is true. That's you're the only person that knew that except for the author.
You mean the authors? Because there's like 6 people.
Yeah, but yeah, you get what I mean.
Right. Meanwhile, Jax is back on the island. He's been searching all over the place for Sonya and probably also looking for his control chips, you know?
Probably mostly looking for his control chips.
And he's got Nightwolf on his Apple Watch so they can keep in touch. And he like comes across a door and he's like, I didn't notice this door the last time I checked this area out. It's a big fucking door, dude. Like,
yeah, it's about the most noticeable door you could probably have in a condemned mine. Or
surely.
No, yeah.
Island. Just an island. It's just an island with a castle on it. Just got a castle up there. And he's like, I bet this door leads up to that castle. Oh shit, I can't rip it open because I just have these puny human arms. I don't have my robot arms. I'll try this big rock. And he picks up a gigantic fucking rock that probably weighs 100 pounds.
With his regular human arms.
With his regular human arms and throws it at the door and it still doesn't open. And he's like, ugh, guess I gotta find a better way to go up to the top of this castle and save my best friend Sonya, finally, because she's in trouble because of me. And then he just sort of saunters around the fucking island, like looking for a way up.
Yeah.
Right? Then he finds one. He decides he has to climb the face of the mountain, because if he flew his jet up there, it would be too loud and Komodai would see him coming.
Yeah, can think of no other way.
So, totally forgetting that he could just fly that jet up there and shoot Komodai with the lasers. So he just climbs the mountain, and he's like embarrassed about having to climb the mountain, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm so glad the rest of the team can't see me doing this.
A weird thing to be self-conscious about, but whatever. What do I know?
All right, so then we got more shit with the gang fighting dudes and tossing them back in through the portal in the mines, right? Raiden calls Sheeva Princess Appendage, which is a
I don't
joke,
love
I
it.
guess.
Yeah.
but definitely keeping on the theme that this episode has, which is arms. Just a bunch of arms.
A lot of. I wonder if they did that on purpose. Almost certainly, right?
100% they did it. 100% it's Shokan's invading because.
But then
because
I gotta
of
say,
arms.
like, I don't have a lot to say about that aspect of this episode though, because it's so like underdeveloped or ill-conceived. Like it's just like they're here, they're gone.
Yeah.
Like fuck.
Totally. Yeah, I think honestly, like the last thing that we need, we can rip through the rest of this fucking
Famous last words we say at the 55-minute mark.
We can rip through this rest of the Shokan thing in like one scene. Like Stryker is asking Raiden why he won't just lightning all the Shokan. Raiden is like, because there's explosive barrels everywhere and this cave will collapse on us, dummy. Although I guess I could do that and then escape because I'm a god and the rest of you are just fucking people and you could all be crushed under here.
Yeah.
Haha, just kidding, Stryker.
Unless.
Then Liu Kang gets like kicked into like a stone column and Sub-Zero freezes it to keep it from collapsing, but the cave is going down. So the Shokan all retreat. Kitana and the boys start running out. Raiden lights up the barrels and the thing collapses. That's the Shokan encounter.
Done.
We'll catch up with that in a little bit. Let's finish up this Jax and Sonya story because we've got some truly wild hijinks.
Jax builds a Jax out of rock.
Well, first Jax gets to the top of the mountain. Finally, he's like makes the climb. He's like, finally, I made it. And Komodai's right there and just says, "Good for you" or something, and then kicks him off the cliff.
Yeah, which is hilarious, deeply hilarious. Even though he does hold on.
Yeah.
Still so funny.
Held on somehow. Gets up, starts fighting, feeling bad about his arms. Komodai's kind of kicking his ass. Sonya's chained to a wall and cheering him on, telling him he's got like the brain of an alligator, you can outsmart him or something, right? So then Jax goes into like thinking mode and he
has a brain blast because people are like, Jax, you can use your brain and your brawn, dude. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Shit.
He takes his boots off and like stages them to look like he's hiding by a pile of rocks or something.
I thought he made it look like the rocks were him.
Or potentially is the pile of rocks, which is an insane plan. And Komodai falls for it. And then what does Jax do? Just kind of like push the pile of rocks on him?
Yep, that is correct. That is absolutely correct. That is what happens.
He's like, you just got pranked, Komodai. And then I don't know, Komodai's like getting mad, starts shooting acid at him. Jax uses a big stone to like shield himself from it, but then the acid gets on the stone, so he's able to then put the acid that's on the stone on the shackles that are holding Sonya captive, and she's able to escape. And Sonya's like, holy shit, he actually used his brain for once, right?
Which is kind of a rude, fucked up thing to say about your friend, but whatever.
So then Sonya's free. She tells Komodai to hiss off.
I didn't even catch that, actually.
A nice pun. Shoots some rings at him. Jax jump kicks Komodai, and then Komodai's down, and that's it.
A lot of easily solved problems featuring major Mortal Kombat characters in this TV show, just generally speaking.
If we didn't mention it already, Sonya did find the control chips before she got attacked. Let's just make sure. Don't worry, Jax is going to have his arms back at the end of the episode.
But now he knows he's strong and can use his brain.
Right. First they go catch up with Kitana and the boys outside the mine shaft, and everyone's okay. They have Komodai with them, and they tell Raiden to send him back to wherever he came from. Then they go back to the combat club. They go back to the combat cave. Can't believe I did that.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but I'm deeply disappointed in you, yeah.
Jax gets his arms back, but he thanks Nightwolf for helping him find his inner strength. And that's the end of the fucking episode.
Not a great one, this one. Considering this
Really?
TV show has 13 episodes, it's incredible that this one is filler.
That they just did this filler. They're like, okay, here's an invasion that doesn't work out and another invasion that doesn't work out. These invasions are poorly planned.
Here's the thing. Here's the fucking problem. Every villain can't have the same goal. And you can't solve all of these problems in 20 minutes or more like 10. Because, like, there are no stakes if the goal is the same for every villain. And we've seen them thwart people doing that attempted takeover 600 times already. Like, who fucking cares? Like,
Yeah. But I got a feeling it's going to be this pretty much every episode.
oh, it will be 100%.
It's going to be some army shows up through a portal, and then the Sonya and the boys have to push them back through the portal and close the portal. every single time.
I've never been more short of anything in my life.
Not as much fun to talk about.
Nope.
Is it?
Nope, not at all. Not even a little bit. It's a miracle that this took an hour to discuss.
Let's do a little, just a little short here. Who did it better? Because we've got Reptile Men in this episode.
Mortal Kombat Conquest. Next question.
Lots of Reptile Men in Mortal Kombat Conquest. I think the Reptile Men representation in Mortal Kombat Conquest was much better because it showed them like actually like plotting and having like organized meetings about what to do. And having brains.
They were people, you know?
not getting tricked by boots in front of a rock pile.
Yeah. And God, that comment mode, this is just a less fun show to watch. It's really sticking with me here, dude. Shit. Oh boy. Sounds like this show has
a reptile dysfunction.
But we got another one here. So we have Sheeva and a whole bunch of Shokan in this episode. We have at least one Shokan who shows up in Mortal Kombat Conquest, looking down over the Cobalt mines. Corey, who did it better?
Only one of them's 3D, so I mean, asked and answered.
I'm giving this one to Defenders of the Realm.
But it's two-dimensional.
But it's Sheeva and a bunch of Shokan dudes fighting versus one poorly rendered CGI Shokan.
Yeah, but that's so charming.
Hold on. Conquest also had all the Goro visions in Kung Lao's head.
Yeah.
You know what?
Now it's a real thinker, huh? You gotta use your brain.
Gotta give it to Conquest, but we're gonna have to reevaluate that next time Sheeva shows up in Defenders of the Realm. And that's it. That's the end of this bad episode of a cartoon show. I'm gonna say it.
Good talk.
I think every character except Nightwolf was underutilized in this episode. Wait. No, Nightwolf was hella underutilized. Every character...
Yeah, Nightwolf, the only good character that nobody ever gets to see.
Every character was underutilized in this episode. Nightwolf got to step up because he wasn't in the previous one at all. But yeah, this one was bad, and I'm glad we're done talking about it. For some reason... Nope, doesn't even fucking matter.
It doesn't matter. We're done. Anyway, I'd like to cap this with what we started with. Thank you to all of our wonderful listeners for being cool and nice and reaching out and enjoying the show, and hopefully what translated from our enjoyment of Mortal Kombat Conquest is as fun to listen to with our occasional suffering at the hands of Defenders of the Realm.
Or Mortal Kombat Annihilation, or in your case, Mortal Kombat 2021.
It'll happen from time to time.
It's
time after
it's
time.
Gonna happen. Yeah.
From time to time. Jesus Christ.
I do miss Mortal Kombat Conquest though. Oh boy.
Yeah, you and me both, pal.
All right. Well, Corey, let's light these barrels on fire with lightning and run out of this mine shaft and let it collapse on top of this episode.
Let's do it.
What do you got to plug?
It's the 100th episode of They Made Another One. Which is a podcast I do with my friends Liam and Mitch. Neil's been on it. You know, it's a whole thing. We felt it was only appropriate to do a classic, stone cold classic sequel. So we've got an episode about Troll 2 out right now. Or rather, it will be out tomorrow, I should say. That's TMAO on Letterboxd. They Made Another on Twitter. They Made Another one on all your podcast services. And you can find me on Twitter at Mr. Corey Price.
Hell yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Final Neil. Find me on Instagram at Final Neil Retro. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at MK Podquest. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the show in your podcast app. Rate us and review us 5 stars. And if you'd like to help me get a new chair, go to ko-fi.com/MK Podquest. And thank you so much for listening to our shit.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, what did we do to deserve this?
And we will be back next week to talk about Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm, Episode 4, Skin Deep. Guess who's showing up in this episode, Corey?
Cabal.
A certain purple ninja from Edenia named Rain.
Why is the episode called Skin Deep if it's about rain?
That's a good point. It sounds like it should be a Cabal episode.
Dude, yeah, dude's got a fucking suit. You know?
Yeah.
His body's under there. You get what I mean, right? I wasn't way off base with that.
No, you weren't. But let's see. The Cabal episode is called Amends.
Oh, there is a Cabal episode.
Yeah, there's going to be a Cabal episode.
We love that. Anyway.
Man, episode 8 is a Quan Chi episode. That might be good.
Let's not get too speculative because we do have a few things to get through first.
Sure, we do. All right. We're done.